Hey everyone, I'm Allie. I'm from Indiana, and you're watching the Base to Pickle podcast.
Welcome to the Base to Pickle Show, everyone. I'm Uncle Muggs alongside Raul De Castro. We're coming to you from the Miami studios today, so stay tuned. Raul, we have some great news.
What is it, Uncle Muggs?
It's Tournament Tuesday.
Tournament Tuesday? What is that? I thought Base to Pickle was a Thursday show.
Yeah, but thanks to the overwhelming support from our fans, viewers, and tournament organizers, we're able to bring you highlights and results of your local tournaments. Send us your podium pictures via Instagram at Base to Pickle and watch our Base to Pickle channel on YouTube for your pictures and results. Welcome to the Base to Pickle Show. I'm Uncle Muggs coming to you from the Miami studios, and we have a really cool guest with us today, and he's coming to us from American Fork, Utah. It's Grub Bushio. Grub, welcome to the Base to Pickle Show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So we took a look at some of your products, and we were blown away by the quality and all the features. But before we get into the bags and the totes and the accessories and everything, tell us a little bit about you and about American Fork, Utah. I had to look it up on Google Earth, and it looks like a beautiful place.
Yeah, live in Utah. It's a gorgeous place, surrounded by mountains, and got all the four seasons. So it's a beautiful place to live. And yeah, my name's Grub Bushio. I'm 29 years old, serial entrepreneur. Really, my biggest previous business was called K9 Sports Sack. We ended up creating the world's best-selling dog carrier backpack. So we've been in the bag space before with a lot of success, and transitioned into pickleball, playing pickleball in 2018, and absolutely loved it and found the need to create an amazing backpack. And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, you took the question right out of my mouth, Grub. I was going to ask you what you did before pickleball because everybody that we've talked to is fairly new to the business. I think we talked to a guy that's been in pickleball for about 20 years, and his name is Dominic Catalano, and he's actually a sports broadcaster for the APP, and he has, I think, the longest tenure in this sport out of anyone that we've talked to. So coming from the bag industry, it was an easy transition to fill a need in the pickleball world. So tell me about the product because we were able to demo the Court Caddy, which is the top of the line tote, and I couldn't believe all the features. What goes into designing something like this? I mean, where do you start?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So Topher and I, the other founder of Kitchen, um, being familiar with bags and playing pickleball, we saw a huge just gap in general. So we knew immediately we had to work on a special bag for pickleball. And the initial process was, when we design physical products, really it's okay, who are we making it for and what is it for? So obviously it's for pickleball, but the who was kind of the real question mark that we had initially starting out. And we assessed everything that was on the market, and there was obvious gaps that needed to be filled. So basically, step one was what are we all bringing to the pickleball courts? If you're a serious player, if you're playing the game a lot, if you're very into it, you're going to have X amount of things, and really a list of products is where we started in the design process. And then we wanted our bag to be very elegant, very sleek, very functional and purposeful. So, I mean, as you've probably noticed using the bag already, everything has a purpose, everything has a place, and really being designed and organized was one of the main things we were aiming to do with the initial concepts. And then we hired one of the most successful bag designers in the world in the travel bag space. So we went to him, we collaborated with him and his team. We said, "Look, this is what we're trying to do. Help us get it together in a beautiful way." And their team really crushed it. We still work with them, and they made it happen for us. And then obviously a huge part of the design process was working with the community and getting everybody's feedback. So we have a huge group of pickleball players, and we would run each design and iteration and feature and benefit past them to get it validated, and made sure we were on the right track to building a backpack that really serious players would actually enjoy.
You're watching the Base of Pickle podcast.
Awesome! Look at this guy! And what are we watching again?
The Base of Pickle podcast.
Say it again! She's running away!
You know, two things that stand out for me when I'm looking for a tote or a pickleball bag. One is functionality, and the other one is quality. I've had bags where the zipper has come off the hinges. I don't know what the official word is for it in your profession, but when you zip your zipper and half of it stays open and you keep zipping and you still see the inside of the bag. And that kind of frustrates me, but you keep using that bag because there's nothing else that you want to invest in because you're thinking that the same thing is going to happen. So we demo one of your bags, and I was impressed with the different pockets and everything. And if you don't have enough room inside, you have all these accessories. So what came first, the accessories or the bag?
Yeah, I mean, so as we were building the bag, so we went through 13, it was 13 or 14 versions of the court caddy. So basically every version and sample that we got feedback on it, and people, our players in the communities we had, they were just like, hey, what if you had this, or what if the bag could do this and or this, and we just got so much feedback, and the add-ons and the other accessories kind of just baked themselves into the product, into what it is. And it's funny, we're still continuing to build different add-ons and different products that work in the ecosystem of our products based off of how people are using our products. And I'll give you one good example of that right now. Since the launch of the Court Caddy, we have an insane amount of people traveling with the backpack. So we're working on basically a feature for the next wave of inventory. Hopefully it gets done in the next wave, where basically you can start making some pieces in the bag modular, so you can have them in there when you need them and then take them out when you don't, so that the bag can be used for travel or for other purposes. So it's evolving. It's really just evolving based off of the community and customers' feedback at this point.
You know, you just opened my eyes to something. I mean, I was looking at it as a pickleball bag only, but this could be a great like weekender. You know, you get the shoe
Yeah.
cube, you get the caddy, you put your shoes in there. You can have the paddle sleeve. You have an area for some eyewear, and I can very easily see this as a carry-on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm traveling. I'm traveling right now in Southern California, and I use one of my core caddies as our. It's our beach bag. I loaded it up on the plane for all of our baby stuff, and yeah, it's an insanely versatile bag shape. So you can do a lot with it. Just as a matter of if you want to use it or not, it'll work great.
So you know Raul de Castro, my co-host, and I thought I had a paddle problem. I own about maybe 4 or 5 paddles, but when we went to demo your bag at our local court, Raul brought an old, like a baseball bag, and he also brought your bag as well. He pulled out 12 paddles. I said, Raul, you own 12 paddles? And I go, yeah, but my wife only thinks I own 6, so don't say anything. So he pulled out, and they fit into your bag. It was amazing. Like I said, the functionality is unbelievable. There's pockets everywhere. It's like if James Bond were to design a bag, this would be the bag.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's geared to be super versatile, and most, like our customer base, we built this for the very serious player type who has multiple paddles and are always exchanging their paddles and getting new gear and accessories. So we want it to hold all of your stuff, no matter how much you have.
All right. What's the best way for our viewers to get a hold of one of your bags? Maybe go online. What's the easiest way to get a hold of one of the bags?
Yeah, so we're primarily just direct to consumer on our website, which is kitchenpickleball.com. So you can order there. We're currently sold out, but our next wave of inventory is arriving
Now,
mid-August, so in the next few weeks.
now, kitchen is spelled KTCHN. It's not the traditional way
Yeah,
of kitchen.
that's right.
So it's KTCHN .com, is it?
Yeah, Kitchen Pickleball.
KitchenPickleball.com. You will not be disappointed. The quality of this product, and it's a beautiful, beautiful product. We saw one at an event here in Delray Beach not too long ago, and both Raul and I pointed to it, and he goes, "Hey, that's one of Grub's bags." So it's out there. It's getting around. It's all over Florida, and I can't wait to put my junk in some of that. I mean, I have so much stuff in my bag, and my bag's so small. So when I like the cross court tote, that's more my style, and I'm looking forward to get my hands on one of those. But before we go, we have a segment. It's called the Speed Up, Grub, and it's where we ask you 5 questions that are completely not related to pickleball in a way for our viewers to get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready for the Speed Up?
Throw them to me. Let's do it.
All right, here you go. Question 1. Are you a Starbucks guy, Dunkin' Donuts, or Nespresso?
Starbucks out of those 3 for sure.
All right. What would you say Grub's all-time favorite movie is?
Ooh. I'm a sucker for you know what? I'm gonna say Top Gun.
Good choice. Good. You
The
can't
first
go
one.
wrong.
The first one.
The original, right? Second one was pretty
Yeah.
good, but the first one you can't go wrong with Maverick. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Absolutely dog person.
It's crazy
Through,
how
no doubt.
pickleballers are 90% dog people. Okay. So what would you say your dream car is? What's like your favorite car?
Oh man. Dream daily driver. I love cars, so this is a hard question. But dream daily driver would be it's a Porsche Panamera, but it's a Sport Turismo trim, and it's
Nice.
the Turbo SE hybrid. It's an absolute mouthful, but it's a wagon. It's a Porsche wagon
it's
with
a
a ton of
Ford.
power.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it, and I think it's an all-wheel drive too, which is good up there in Utah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
All right.
Yeah, I love
And-
wagons.
And I'm sure you're familiar with all our vacation spots here in Florida. What would be your favorite Florida vacation destination?
Oh man, I've been to Miami. I'm gonna say Miami. It's gorgeous there, especially in the
Miami's-
wintertime. Sorry, Miami in the wintertime, I should say.
Exactly. That's great because you don't want to be here in the heat in the summer and the humidity. Utah looks like a good place to be in the summer. Hey, listen, I appreciate you for being on the show. Thanks for being such a great sport. You know, on behalf of my co-host Raul De Castro, I want to extend, our thank yous for being on the show. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, guys, that was Grub Bushio, and he's from American Fork, Utah. He is the co-founder of Kitchen Pickleball. Go online, check out this bag. You will not be disappointed. There's room for everything, and you don't have to use it for pickleball. You can use it for your travel as well. Stick with us. We're going to have more interviews like this coming up right after these messages. Watch our inventory of past and current matches. There's all you need to know about local pickleball events in your area. We'll have some special guests from all around the pickleball community.
I'm Elizabeth Pritchard from Minnesota, and you're watching the Base to Pickle podcast.
Welcome to the Base to Pickle Show. I'm Uncle Muggs next to Raul De Castro, and we're coming to you from the Miami studios today. And Raul, I always say that we have an interesting guest, but this has got to be one of my favorite guests.
This is going to be super interesting. Can't wait to hear all his stories.
You know, he's a former baseball player, and now he's a picklehead just like us.
So who is he?
This is Dominic Catalano. He's one of the most well-known and well-respected voices in pickleball. He's in the broadcast booth now for the APP Tour, MLP, the PPA, and he's a color analyst for ESPN and CBS Sports. He's been a 7-time U.S. Open finalist, and he's been around pickleball for at least 10 years. So help me in welcoming Dominic Catalano.
Welcome, Dominic.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing great. So happy to have you on the Base to Pickle show with us.
Yeah,
No,
when
it's good to be here. And again, I mean, base to pickle. That's me. That's me. That's 100% me. I know it's you guys too.
That's awesome, man. We always love to talk to pickleball players, but man, if you were a former baseball player, that's one notch for us. So tell us a little bit about your background. I know you were a great player, but you were also a teacher. So tell us how it all started for Dominic.
So I played, in college and had, a little time after that. Not much, but it was well worth it. And then after baseball ended, I got into teaching, and so I was a high school PE teacher. And when I started teaching in high school, we were teaching pickleball in our curriculum. Now we're going all the way back to like 2002, 2003. So to say that I've been in pickleball for 21, 22 years is the truth. And that's more than a lot of people I see day in and day out. So I was basically teaching it for a number of years and then eventually moved to Florida in 2012. And in 2012, when I moved to Florida, I took a job for Collier County Parks and Rec, which was in Naples. And at that time, East Naples Park, where they host the U.S. Open, they had 9 pickleball courts. And I'm like, there's actually like real
Real
pickleball courts?
pickleball
I'm like, all
courts.
right. I'm like, I got to go check this out. And so I went over to that park, checked it out. Place is packed. And I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, it's pretty cool. Now, my park was about 20 minutes north of there. And I'm like, I want to try and get pickleball at my park. So I had some tennis courts painted. We had 4 temporary nets. And on day one, I had 15 people. Within a month, I had 50. Another month goes by at 100. I had to
Awesome.
paint the other full. I had to paint the other 2 tennis courts. So then I finally had 8 courts. Within another 2-3 months, I had probably over 200 people playing pickleball. All to a point where I was like, we had an area at the park that had 2 sand volleyball courts, and I'm like, nobody's using these. I'm like,
Yep.
our park is like a mile and a half from the beach. No one's gonna play beach volleyball at the park when they can go to Naples Beach.
Play real
And
That's
beach
right.
so
volleyball.
right. And so we're like, what can we fit here pickleball wise? And we converted that area into 8 permanent pickleball courts. So within a
Wow.
year at the park, I had 16 pickleball courts there. And we eventually had probably over 350, 400 players at that park. And, within another couple months, I quit the park and I've been pickleball full time since 2013.
Look at that. I mean, that is just an amazing story just because you had a visit and you're like, you saw the vision. When everyone was just kind of getting going, you had the vision and you got it going. It's amazing that you got 8, pickleball courts where there were just 2 volleyball courts. That's a lot of fun for a
Yeah,
lot of people.
it was unbelievable. When we got those done, they were absolutely phenomenal. The people loved them. We had a huge dedication ceremony for it. And you're going back like 2013, 2014, and this is even before the boom of pickleball, really,
That's
because
right.
that
Yeah.
came around. That
I
came
feel
around
like
16 or so.
Well, Dom, you say that, and I feel like the boom just started. Like here in our area, it's just really like blossoming now. Even though there's been a lot of
Yeah.
pickleball players, but like the boom, when we say a boom, I feel like now is just starting over the last year or so. Would you agree, Uncle Monks?
Well, I don't think we know where the ceiling is yet. It's been growing, and I don't think it's plateaued yet, and we won't know that for a while. Don't you agree, Dom?
No, 100%. I mean, and that all goes back to the discussion about getting pickleball because there's so much talk of it now because we're in an Olympic year, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
there's so much talk about getting pickleball in the Olympics. People ask me, they're like, "Oh, aren't we so close, so close?" And it's like, I hate to break people's bubble and burst their bubble. I'm like, but we're not close. Like,
Yeah.
we need this game international. We need to promote this game international.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's at. United States, we're in our bubble as far as that goes with, yeah, it's huge here. But we need international play all over the world, not just here in our country. So when people ask me that, they're like, oh, well, 4 more years, LAX. I'm like, keep wishing. I'm
It
like,
has to
in
grow
my
everywhere else
opinion,
too.
in my opinion, we're 12 years out from pickleball in the Olympics because
Wow.
it's got to go exhibition, it's got to get approved in a certain number of countries. So, and that's not anything bad for pickleball.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
we're
It's
just
not.
over 50 something years of existence. So, we can pump the brake, or we're almost 60 years now, but just pump the brakes a little bit. Don't try and rush things. And I think that's something too that, pickleball people who are trying to get into the space try and do too quick, and they push too fast, too hard. And
Mm-hmm.
then from that, you get a halfway product, not a good product.
Yeah, I think up to now pickleball has grown, organically. Like you tell your friend you enjoy it, you went out to the court and somebody taught you, and then you pass it along, and that growth is good. When you grow too fast, that's not good. But I see that the APP is going to be in India next year.
Yeah, we had a contingent that went out to India last year. Hopefully, going back again this year. And that's the thing is, there's so much talk right now about international pickleball, obviously, and whatnot. APP's been international for 2 years. People want to kind of throw that under the rug. APP's been going to England for 2 years. I'm heading back there this year for the third year that the APP's involved in India or in England. Hopefully, going back for a second year in India. So people go to sleep. I love how people go to sleep on the APP, and it's like APP just keeps trucking. They keep doing what
Yep.
they're doing, and we're going to continue to push the game internationally any way we can. And like I said, going back to England for the third year, and I know we have plans to do other things as well, and in Asia and in Spain and things like that. So I'm excited about that part of it because I haven't done much international travel. But now all of a sudden, because of pickleball, crazy as it can be, I'm going to start traveling internationally because of pickleball. It's insane to say that.
And that's the one thing that what pickleball is doing is bringing and something new to the table for all of us, right? This is something new for us as well. This is something we enjoy, but this is new. And when we talk about APP International, I always think it's app.global, right?
Right.
It's not
Ex-
just here, it is app.global when you want to go online and check it out. It's in the name.
exactly.
All right, so
Exactly.
Dominic, we know you as a broadcaster, but you weren't a broadcaster. Tell us how
No.
you got into broadcasting, because I heard it was kind of by accident.
2018, I'm at Beer City Open. Eddie and Webby, two of the first original pickleball podcasters, they're producing live streaming from Beer City Open in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I knew both of those guys for a long time. And they're like, hey, Dominic, you're a coach. Do you want to jump in the booth with us? And I'm like, sure, I'll jump in the booth. And so I jump in the booth with them. I do some play by play, some commentary, some analysis. And that was just it. And then the next day I did the same thing. And so 2 weeks go by and I'm in Chicago at the Chicago Open. And I meet a guy by the name of Ken Herman. And Ken Herman approaches me and he's like, Dominic, I heard what you did in Beer City. He's like, I'm about to start a professional pickleball tour. He goes, and we're going to be live streaming everything. He's like, and I would love for you to be my analyst. You got a seat in the booth for me if
Wow.
you want it. Now, Ken's a Chicago
Nice.
guy. I'm a Chicago guy. We had that connection right away. He
Mm-hmm.
was running the first Chicago Open I was at. I kind of helped him out a little bit with some court stuff and things like that along the way. And we had an instant connection. And from them, everything just blossomed and I turned it into what I'm doing now, starting in 2018. But with everything that's new as well, I had never done that before. And so there were kind of some bumps in what I was doing and how I was approaching it and how I could get better. And so I had some really good people, in my corner that helped me out a lot early on.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Irwin was one of them. Cameron was and has been in the game, in the broadcast game for years. She works with the LA Rams, the professional volleyball. She's doing the Padel tour now.
Nice.
Cameron helped me a lot with, what I need to do, how I need to be in a booth, my timing. There's so much that goes into it. She
Yeah.
helped me a ton. And then also, Linda Long, who's my agent, she helped me a ton as well. with contracts and things like that. And when you're actually getting into stuff like that, I actually had to have a contract and kind of do all that kind of stuff. She helped me out.
Yeah.
She had actually worked with people like Mary Carrillo, who on the tennis side of things, would actually for Linda would watch some of my commentary and then give me critiques back on it. And so they both helped me out a ton early on. And then the whole team at Intersport have been absolutely incredible. Hank Renning and John Greff and John Paquette. They are all amazing people to work with, and they've been in the space forever, working with CBS Sports and ESPN and all that. So have everything I have is because of the people that have supported me and helped me along this way.
Well, that's a great segue into what I was about to ask you. Again, we're talking to Dominic Catalano. He's a well-respected. He's the voice of pickleball. He's on the APP tour, and you hear him every weekend. So on air, Dominic, you seem to have great synergy with your co-hosts like AJ McCord, Dorian Kraft, and how cool is it to work with them and the quality of show that Intersport is bringing to us online?
No, it's amazing, and you have to have that camaraderie. You have to have that connection, and just like any sport, I always talk about when I'm teaching pickleball and get people, I always segue a little way away to come back, but when I always teach people pickleball, I'm like, pickleball is just like any other sport, right? Like, it's all about disrupting your opponent's timing, right? And so, like a baseball player, is I always use the example, a pitcher's throwing 97 and then he drops an 83-mile-an-hour slider. Well, he's disrupting my timing. A defensive back on a wide receiver jams a receiver off the line. It's about disrupting his timing on his route. Timing is just as important in the booth when we're commentating. If we're stepping on each other or speaking over each other, it's just not fluid. And so having that camaraderie with the people you're in the booth with, like AJ McCord, like Dorian Kraft, and then my boy Chad Edwards. Chad and I have been doing this together, forever too. And it could be very messy, especially because we have three people in the booth. So we do it a little different. So
well,
Chad
Uncle Muggs and I,
we go through the same thing.
See, like right now, I just interrupted you because I'm like, hey, we want to say something too.
But you know what? It always helps when you have someone in the booth that has a British accent. It makes it sound so much brighter.
and like, that's exactly like when it's Chad and I in the booth and the darn Australian, he could get away with fumbling his words all he wants, but he sounds good doing it.
It sounds great.
And I'm like, if I mess something up, I'm gonna get like memes of pickleball is gonna be all over me. I'm like, with you, it sounds like it's beautiful.
We want to hear more.
Yeah, he could say anything and it sounds great.
Exactly. So no, it's good. It's a lot of synergy. It's a lot of timing, and I think we have that, especially like I was saying with a 3-person booth. It can be tough when it's Chad and I are both looking to analyze something, but what Chad and I have is very dynamic. Where we have kind of signals that we're giving each other. Where hey, I'm going to go here, you go here, or whatnot. So it's a good kind of thing we have going.
So you employed some of those baseball, signs, right? So that everybody knows what they've got to do.
Hit and run. Yeah.
Dom, I want to ask you.
It helps too because Chad's a baseball guy too, so it helps a lot.
Really?
Oh yeah, Chad's a baseball guy. Chad played in Australia and then came over to the States, played at Fresno State. So yeah.
I love it. I love to hear this. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Hey, wait, hold on. Hey, and Chad's gonna give me grief for this too, but Chad was a pitcher, so like.
Oh, he was just a pitcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, but he'll say he played outfield too, but he was a pitcher.
He'll say he can swing it, right?
Yeah. Shagging.
Always.
Shagging balls. Shagging balls in BP does not qualify as an outfielder.
Well, I want to ask you, because the camera guys, they never get, or women, they never get the love that, maybe the personnel in front of the camera get. What's that synergy with those folks that are manning the camera? Because Uncle Muggs mentioned, man, you guys get some good angles and the timing is right. The replays are great. I think they do a phenomenal job.
The dink cam, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a synergy because we have the three of us in the booth. That's all you hear. But like everyone thinks, oh, you got those headphones on. Why do you got headphones on? Because the whole time in our ear, I'm listening to our producer talk to us, tell us what's coming up next. Okay, we got that replay. Okay, this is coming up next. Okay, Dom, this is on you. Ready? Go. 3, 2, 1, got you. Or Chad, this is on you. Ready? 2,
Yeah.
1, go. And that whole kind of timing of it too is great. But then also we can talk back to them too. From our microphones, we have a button that we can talk back to them and say, hey, we just saw something, clip this. I want to talk about this later. And so that's what you see too. You see later on. You don't see it right at that time. But yeah, it's kind of a neat thing that we have and a comfortability that we have.
Great. Now let's talk a little bit about, the technology behind the paddles and everything that's going on, within the game. What are you seeing, whether it's something that's happening now or that you see coming, that's going to be interesting for, the amateur player and the pro players alike?
Well, I always related again. We're going back to darn baseball again. I played, in high school and college during the gorilla ball era, right? And that was, LSU, and they were dropping bombs. You had,
Yep.
all these little second basemen that were like 5'8", hitting 30 home
Launching.
runs, and
Yeah.
right. And it was like, well, something's going on here. And what they were doing is they were pushing the limits, right? All the bat companies, they're pushing limits, they're thinning out the wall on the bat and making that trampoline effect. Well, then all of a sudden, a 12-year-old in California loses an eye.
Yeah.
And then a 13-year-old in, Arizona's got a concussion. And then USA Baseball stepped in and they said, enough. Okay.
Yeah.
BESR certification. This is what we're doing. We're going to go backwards a little bit so that the game can move forward.
Yeah.
Because when you are just a wild, wild west and you let everything go, that's not good. And so I used the baseball analogy where it was like, okay, USA Baseball was like, okay, enough. Like, you're done. We can't do that anymore because someone's going to get hurt. That's where USA Pickleball is stepping in. And they're saying, look, these new hot paddles, it's too much.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have players that gotten concussions because getting hit in the head, right? I don't care what you say. Yeah, it's a wiffle ball, but that's still going to hurt, right? You get hit in the eye, you're going to lose an eye. And I'm just sitting back going, is that what it's going to take?
Yeah.
Is it going to take a pro or even an amateur getting hit in the eye off one of these hot paddles for someone to actually do something? And I'm like, no, enough. Like, you can't do that. You can't wait for that. And so I do think that what's going on right now, them taking these hot paddles out, is absolutely 100% good for the game because, and it'll get total grief over saying it, but I really don't care because there are people like, oh, the athletes got to get better. There's a point in a time where it's just ridiculous. It's too much, right? Like, you just can't. Technology can't be winning the game for you. It has to be the player's skill.
That's it. That's exactly right, Dom. I agree 100%. One of the things that I like, that USA Pickleball is doing is they are getting ahead of it, right? And saying, hey, no, it's not going to happen because why do we have to wait for something to happen? Like you said, Dom, somebody loses an eye and then we want to do something about it. No one needs to lose an eye. It's just a game. Let's have fun. Let's make it a playing level field where everyone can use similar paddles and similar technology that's not going to hurt anyone.
Wow, a lot of drama here on the Base to Pickle show today. This is getting good, guys.
I like it because it's the thing with baseball. And they're like, oh, well, the guy's throwing, 101. So what? That's his physical ability to throw the ball 101. Right? Like, you can't tell him physically to stop throwing 101.
It's the same ball for everybody.
But if I put X paddle in your hand and you can hit that 85, and I put Y paddle in your hand and you hit that one only 65, that's a difference that is no longer anything to do with the athlete anymore. Now it's the equipment.
100% correct. Wow, I think that you hit the nail on the head with that analogy there,
Dominic. And I'm a techie guy. I like all the gadgets. Where do you see line calls going? Will the APP or the big tours ever pick up a device like they use in tennis, like the Cyclops?
So like the Cyclops and Hawkeye and those systems, the issue with that with the tours right now is that from what we're hearing, it's about $100,000 per court to do a Cyclops or a Hawkeye. And that's expensive, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone thinks that these tours are bringing in. $100,000 hurts. Okay, this isn't the ATP tour on tennis. We're not even close to those kind of paydays yet,
Mm-hmm.
and so $100,000 is really going to hurt. Now, do I think that there's areas we could do better? Absolutely. What have we done at the APP? We've got cameras on the lines. Are the cameras always the best cameras? No, but they're actually, they're doing well.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a good job. And, one of the things that I'd like to see more is maybe some volunteers can help, or whether it might be refs, because, that's a little bit more affordable. Put some refs,
Yes.
Down each line and on the, on the baseline.
Like they do in baseball. They have extra
Right,
umpires for the
exactly.
bigger games.
I don't feel good today. Time to go see the doctor. Nurse, I don't feel good. What can you give me?
Looks like you're going through pickleball withdrawal. Okay, I'm going to prescribe for you to watch the Base to Pickle show.
Welcome back to the Base to Pickle show. We're with Dominic Catalano, and he's got some information on technology and the future of pickleball.
Dom, we left off talking about the lines, and do we put refs? Do we put, Hawkeye, Cyclone to help us out with the line calls? What's your take on that?
I mean, it's tough. Like, you'd love to have the best of everything like they have at, major tennis events where they have the Hawkeye and it's calling it immediately. But again, the cost of that, close to $100,000 per court, it's very difficult to do stuff like that. What I do think that we're doing much better, though, is we are getting cameras on the lines. APP has adjusted that this year. We have cameras on all lines, straight down the lines. Our camera view is good. We're getting calls pretty much like accurate pretty much every time, and they're quick reviews. So I think we're doing a good job. And then also on the flip side of things, eventually we could get to that with the Hawkeye system. But again, in the ATP tour, the women's professional pickleball or professional tennis tour, it's different. They're making a lot of money and they can afford to have those kinds of things. It's very different with pickleball. I know that we're gung ho on pickleball, and I am too. But the reality is, $100,000 hurts if you're gonna put that on the court. That takes
we've got
away
to
from
grow
the
the
bottom
game.
line, big time.
Yeah, we got to continue to grow the game, get it to where it needs to be, and then bring that, to light. But right now, I think we have, like you said, cameras, and, refs or volunteers can do a phenomenal job. Because you know what? I used to be, on the lines for volleyball in college. I did that. It was fun and it works. So in the meantime, pickleball will figure out a good way for it to work for everyone.
Yeah, they will. Eventually they will. But again, it's like we talked about at the beginning of the show, is that we're still so young as a sport.
Yeah.
Like don't try. Like, it's almost like telling your kid to grow up too fast. Don't do it. Let them
Don't
grow
do it.
up. Don't rush it. Slow down. Like, I look at my daughter and I'm like, she's 11, and I look at her every day and she's 5 foot tall and she wants to wear heels now, and I'm like, come on, slow down. I'm like, relax.
Right.
I'm like, you don't need to grow up too soon. And I'm like, same thing with pickleball. We don't need to grow up too fast. Let it happen organically. Let it happen naturally. Let's eventually get there, but don't try and do too much too fast, because again, it will hurt the game if we do.
Dom, what you're saying is, everyone, let's just enjoy the process. We will get there. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
We're there. We have tours and stops all over the place. People coming out and enjoying it. Again, I go back to my time in West Virginia. I was just in West Virginia for 4 days in Nitro, West Virginia. I guarantee you, your listeners have to look up where that is. That is
That's right.
just
Nitro.
outside of Charleston. It literally was a 9-court facility with 8 temporary courts, and they hosted a little over a 200-person clinic that myself and Susanna Barr went out there. We did clinics. We played in a tournament. You want to talk about people and grassroots of pickleball? That's what that is out there. Charleston Pickleball in West Virginia. I mean, some of the nicest, down-to-earth, awesome people I have ever met in the game, and I've been in the game a long time. And these people were absolutely phenomenal, and it was refreshing.
I
We were
love
there. We
hearing
were on
this.
court. We were on court pretty much the whole time. We were
Hmm.
there, but I'll tell you what, it was like a relaxing vacation because it was old school pickleball. I felt like I was back in 2015, 16 at a tournament
Wow.
again where people played and then they
Yeah.
hung out and then they talked and then, everything was just so much more old school. And I appreciated that because it brought me back to the roots of where we started.
Everything, it seems like everything except the wooden paddles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dom, let's talk a little bit about a new podcast that you have. It's called Sneakerheads. Tell us a little bit about that. We've talked a lot about pickleball and everything you're doing there and how great, pickleball is and how much we love it and how much pickleball is out there. But now tell us about what that project is and how it's going. I think you're releasing your second episode?
Yeah, so there's all these. I keep going back to like my roots. I've been a sneakerhead for years. I'm a Jordan freak. I got hundreds of pairs of Jordans, but I'm also on the flip side of things, a tennis shoe freak as well. I have probably 150 pairs of tennis shoes and court shoes that I flip on and off and wear. And people are like, "Man, those are brand new. Where'd you get those?" I'm like, "They're like 7 years old. I just only worn them twice." And so
I don't
I'm
get it.
always I love it. I love it, and it's always been a thing for me. I got all my boys back home that I grew up with. We got a big group of us, and we're all sneakerheads and collectors, and we talk constantly about different things we see and whatnot. But back to what you asked is that I see two things are necessities in pickleball. It's your paddle and it's good shoes, right? Those are the two things you
Absolutely.
can't go
Yep.
without and play pickleball, right? And everyone under the sun has a paddle review show on social media.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing testing, and they got this and they got that, and I love them because some of them are great, right? Like, my guys in Boise, they have a great show out there, and they do just a great job. Braden and Kyle, and then Chris Olson, another one, does an amazing job. But the other one was no one was doing anything on pickleball shoes, and what did I see on all the forums? Like every day, I saw somebody every 2
Ankles.
days would post something about I hurt myself. What's a good pickleball shoe? And there'd be like 500 responses,
Yep.
and all it was Skechers, Nike, Adidas, Nike, Skechers, and I'm like, give some depth here or something. And it was just like, there's no place for that. And I'm like, well, I love shoes. I'm like, I know shoes. I'm like, I'm a pretty much, I'd consider myself an expert on them. I'm like, why don't I start this? And so I literally came together and started, did my first shoe review, put it out there. And like anybody else, I'm just starting out. I got a couple hundred, views on my first one. I'm getting ready to put my second one out there. But when I started this, I started reaching out to all these pickleball shoe companies.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, it was like Christmas because I'm literally reaching out to them going, hey, I'm going to do a shoe review. I want to include you guys on one of them. Hey, can you just, if you want to send me a shoe, I can try it out, demo it, and then I'll do a review on it. It was like influx of emails and influx of like UPS like tracking numbers. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. I looked at Susanna and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be Christmas. And then they all just started coming in. They had like, about a dozen or so pairs of shoes.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dominic, Raul, I think we just found our long lost relative.
Yeah.
He likes all the things that we
we
like.
like.
He likes baseball. He likes pickleball, sneakers. I think we were separated at birth, Dominic.
We must have been.
Dominic, we're going to move into our area that we like to call
The
speed up. You know how we speed up the game on the court? Well, we like to speed up the game here in our studio. And that's where we ask you questions that have nothing to do with pickleball so that we can get to know you and our viewers and listeners can get to know you. Is that all right?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So if you're ready for the speed up, Uncle Muggs is going to take it away.
Here we go.
All right, let's go.
Dominic Catalano, are you a Starbucks guy, a Dunkin' Donuts, or Nespresso?
Ooh, Recently, I'm a Starbucks guy because that was more or less where I was in Florida. There was a Starbucks like right next door to me. But growing up, I was a Dunkin' Donuts kid. Double headers on Saturdays and Sundays,
Yes.
Oh,
two
yeah.
Boston creams, and an iced coffee. That is a college athlete's diet.
That was it.
All right. What is Dominic's all-time favorite movie?
Oh, that's easy. Bronx Tale.
Oh,
good one.
Good one. I met Chaz.
Yep.
Really nice guy.
I tried to name my son Kalojiro, and my wife at the time would not allow
Poor
that
kid.
to happen.
He won't be able to spell it until he's about 15.
No.
All right. Is Dominic Catalano a dog guy or a cat guy?
Grew up a cat guy because we used to have cats because of my mom, but more or less now I'm a dog guy.
All right. And what is your all-time favorite car?
Oh gosh, Bumblebee, but the new Bumblebee, not the
Yeah.
Volkswagen Beetle. My dream car is that Bumblebee Camaro.
Oh,
That is a
bright
beautiful
yellow.
one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be absolutely perfect. One day I will have that car.
All right. And last question. What is your favorite Florida vacation destination?
Oh, that's tough. So I've lived in Naples and Sarasota, so they're out. I'm going East Coast. I like Delray Beach. Atlantic Avenue is one of my favorite places.
It's a hot spot right now. They've got a bunch of good restaurants and things to do there. I love it there as well.
All right.
Yep,
There you
I
have
love
it,
Delray
folks.
Beach.
There you have it. If you didn't know him, you know him now. And if you didn't know him before, you're probably under a rock somewhere if you don't know who he is. All right, Dominic, thanks for being such a great guy and taking your time to be on the Base to Pickle show today.
We had a great time, Dom. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Anytime.
All right. Good luck with all your projects, with your podcast with Sneakerheads. We look forward to hearing more from you. Best of luck. We're going to check out that first episode along with the second one when you release it.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Keep in touch.
All right. Thank you, Dominic. All right, Raul.
That was a great interview. Dom had a lot to share, and wow, we learned a lot.
To be honest, I like the Tito Machado interview. That was my favorite, but I think Dominic beat Tito out.
Wow, the Duke of Pickleball.
I hope he doesn't hear me. All right.
Well, you know,
I love Tito too.
Right? Tito's fun. Tito's fun.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We're going to have more interviews, some tournament results, our calendar of events for the month of July, and a whole lot more right here on the Base to Pickle show.
This is Kevin Perkins, the king of balls from Crown Pickleball. You're watching Base to Pickle. Look at that hair. Look at
that. Hi everyone, I am Tito Machado and I'm super excited to be here at the Base to Pickle show with Raul De Castro and Uncle Max. This is an amazing show. Please enjoy and keep watching.
Welcome to the Base to Pickle show, everyone. I'm Uncle Muggs coming to you from the Miami studios today. And our guest today is probably the most distinguished guest that we've had on the Base to Pickle show to date. He's a true Miami guy, born and raised in Miami Gardens. He went to Florida A&M University, St. Thomas University, and he graduated from UM Law, so he's a real hurricane. Let's welcome Chairman Oliver G. Gilbert III. Chairman, welcome to the Base to Pickle show.
Hey, listen, thanks for having me. This is wonderful.
And I can't believe you're on this show and that you like pickleball. I'm so excited about this. I've been waiting all week for this.
So, no, I don't like pickleball. I love pickleball. And you'll excuse my office here. We've got a bunch of stuff going on here, remodeling some stuff. But I love pickleball. I think it's something I understand why it's the fastest growing sport in the country right now.
Now you get it. You get it. So I did some research on you. And I know you're a true Miami guy, and we love that about you. But I also found out that you love bow ties. I mean, you have this thing with bow ties, right?
I have 1,000 bow ties.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the look. I love the look. All right. So listen, first of all, personally, well, on behalf of my co-host as well, I want to thank you for your lifelong dedication and commitment. So many years you've been in the public service, And Miami-Dade County residents are lucky to have your leadership. So thank you very much for that.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
All right. Okay, enough with the mushy stuff. Let's get down to the fun and why we're here, and it's to talk about pickleball. So let me say a little something first about your tournament. Chairman Oliver Gilbert's pickleball tournament will celebrate community and commitment to health through sportsmanship, fostering a sense of camaraderie in our county. This tournament offers men's and women's doubles competition for age groups starting at 19 through 60 in skill levels and divisions. All residents are encouraged to participate, and there'll be food trucks and vendors for families to enjoy. Now, this is going to be called the Orange Blossom Classic, and it's going to be held at Hard Rock Stadium on August 25th at 8 a.m., and I can't wait for that. Tell me how this came about. How did this, you don't hear about chairman's holding pickleball tournaments?
No, you don't. Well, you know what happened was I got into pickleball, and I just love it. I love pickleball. I try to play pickleball at least 3-4 times a week. I played, I think, every day this week. I was traveling on Monday. I came back. I played on Monday evening when I think I landed. I think I played then. I played Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I played this morning. And so because I'd been out of town and I hadn't gotten my fix, so I needed to do it. What I try to do is actually encourage people to stay active, and pickleball is a great way to do that. And so anybody can do it. You have older people, younger people. It's an extraordinary game that draws the community in. And I think that if we introduce it to enough people, the growth will even go faster and farther.
I agree. It's so inclusive. It's the only sport that I could think of where, it crosses generations. You can have a grandson playing with grandpa, and if they're at the same level, they're going to have a fun, competitive game. They're going to be outdoors, and they're going to be enjoying everything that's going on. So on August 25th at the Hard Rock Stadium, which is an awesome venue, alongside the Sunshine State Games, which is run by our friend Andy Rubenstein, you're going to have a pickleball tournament. How did this come about, and who else is involved in this? Because I'm sure you had some help from your staff putting this together.
Oh, listen, we have Gabby's on. She's working on it. Sandra Pierre-Paul in my office. The Orange Blossom Classic. I helped bring the Orange Blossom Classic as a football game back to Miami Gardens maybe 3 or 4 years ago. When I thought that I went to a pickleball tournament, I thought what better partner to have than the Orange Blossom Classic. So the game is the following Sunday. And I said, we'll start off the event with this pickleball tournament the Sunday before. And to end the pickleball tournament, we'll have a day party so that you can really engage the entire community and not just the folks who are actually playing pickleball. So we really want for people to play, but more importantly, we want people to see, watch, and become hooked. Because I think if they come and they see it, I think they'll become hooked. And so engaging Hard Rock Stadium, Tom Garfinkel, the president, Miles there, their vice president and general counsel, Kendra at the Orange Blossom Classic, Brian Lee, Alexis Brown, Sandra Pierre-Paul. Once I said this was something I wanted to do, they all did a good job of coming together and saying that we're going to get it done. And so I'm very happy.
Let me tell you, it's not often that I'm excited about waking up at about 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday to get all the gear out there, because Base to Pickle is going to cover the event. I mean, we're going to be there, and I hope to get on the court with you and hit a couple of shots with you and get you on the.
I'm in.
That'll be great. That'll be awesome. So let's get back to pickleball and the growth, because you did mention that a little earlier, and we're seeing it online. We're watching these tournaments come up in India. I've talked to people in Medellin, Colombia, Dublin, Ireland. What's your take on the growth of the game and the community involvement?
Well, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It's
right.
You can be older, you can be younger, you can be heavy set, you can be skinny, you can be slow, but still have great shot placement. I play with a group of seniors on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays in the morning over in the Miami Lakes area. And it's amazing that their shot placement is amazing. So they don't have to actually run down every ball, because the way they play shots, they're moving you out of position. And their follow-up shot is the actual kill shot. And so understanding that, and that's why it's going to continue to grow, for the same reason that soccer is the most popular sport in the world, because all you really need is a ball and a field. Well, in pickleball, you don't need all this equipment. You can refurbish any basketball court. You can draw lines on any any tennis court, and you can actually get it done. And so that type of accessibility worldwide is going to encourage people to participate of all skill levels, for all skill levels.
I agree. I mean, like you said, it's not all about power, or you don't have to be super fit or have a six-pack abs or anything. If you can place the ball, and my co-host Raul says it all the time, pickleball is like a chess match. It's where you move your opponent, and there's so much intricate detail into this, and that's why I think the game's going to stay around for a long time. And of course, it's multi-generational. And man, this is so much fun talking to you. I almost don't want this interview to be over, but again, we're gonna remind everybody that it's August 25th at 8 a.m. at the Hard Rock Stadium, right there in your backyard in Miami Gardens, in association with the Sunshine State Games. We're gonna have the Orange Blossom Classic, and I can't wait to get on the court and hit a couple backhands with the chairman, Oliver Gilbert.
All right.
It's going to be so much fun.
It is. And listen, when you serve, when I serve, I'm going to serve and stay. And I'm never going to spend time in no man's land. I'm going to come to the kitchen. And if you put a ball high over the net, I'm going to come down hard on it. I promise.
Awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait. This is going to be great. All right. So on behalf of Raul, my co-host, I want to thank you. I want to thank your staff and Gabriel and everybody for putting this interview together, and for you taking your time out of your busy schedule to help promote this wonderful game of pickleball. And don't forget, you can watch the Base to Pickle episodes right here every Thursday on YouTube. So, Chairman, thank you once again, sir.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, bring a bow tie, because I want to play in a bow tie.
I'll bring a bow tie. All right.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, folks. That was Chairman Oliver Gilbert. He is a District 1 representative, born and raised right here in Miami Gardens. He's one of our own. He's a true hurricane, and he loves pickleball just as much as we do. So stick around. We're going to have more interviews just like this.
Looks like you're going through pickleball withdrawal. Okay, I'm going to prescribe for you to watch the Base to Pickle show.
Another indoor pickleball tournament is happening at the Yards, and this one has over $9,000 in potential prize money.
Every division will be paid. You want to register now. The event is on September 6th and 7th at the Yards at Amelia.
Uncle Muggs, PMG is doing this tournament right. Everyone gets paid.
That's unheard of. And Crown Pickleball is taking care of the pickleballs for the event. Now, don't forget Souls for Souls, and that's going on September 21st at Riverside Park.
Souls for Souls tournament is actually in collaboration with your very own Base to Pickle.
And it's brought to you by BH3 Management and Crown Pickleballs.
Crown Pickleball. We love Crown Pickleball because they love South Florida.
And remember to stay tuned every Thursday on YouTube and watch the Base to Pickle show.
And like we always say,
pickleball is fun. Let's play.